Howdy everyone, my name's Calling Me Crazy and welcome back to the channel. If you didn't know, I have an inbox at askmecrazyquestions@gmail.com. If you want to send me any questions or you want me to give you advice on anything, I'd be happy to make a separate video on it. We are continuing our Men's Mental Health Awareness Month series, and this week's topic is going to be talking about male porn addiction. Now, I know fellas, a lot of you guys watch porn. Like, you gotta admit it. At some point or another, you do watch porn, or you have watched porn sometime in your life. Some of you probably more than others, and I'm gonna be the man in the room for a second and admit that I've definitely watched way too much. I have consumed so much porn throughout my life as a preteen and then a teenager and then as an adult still today. Admittedly, I still watch porn from time to time. Not as much as I used to, but so much so that I recognize a lot of things that deal with porn. I recognize actresses, actors. I could recognize different types of videos that I've seen. I could recognize artists that draw porn. It's pretty bad. I would say it's a chronic addiction if I had to give myself any type of diagnosis with any addiction that I do have. And yeah, I'm here to say that I am one of these people. I am one of these guys, and there are many of us among not just this niche in general, but just among men throughout the world that are addicted to porn, and it happens a lot. And there's ways to combat it, but there's also ways that it can creep up on you, and it's not really good to go like cold turkey right away. Just with like any addiction, for instance, if you're addicted to nicotine, you're going to have withdrawals, and the same is with porn. Porn is going to give you withdrawals. Now, I think in some instances, porn can be healthy for you, but not in the sense of watching it, in the sense of just being a human being, and masturbation. I think masturbation is seen as something that you tie to porn, which makes sense. I mean, that's usually what it's used for. But masturbation itself is normal. I think that's a normal, healthy thing to do as a man or a woman. But using and consuming porn to do it for most of the time, if not all the time, is unhealthy, especially if you don't do it in moderation. And I feel like it's really impossible to do it in moderation once you start. Just like nicotine, it's like once you start smoking cigarettes or doing vaping, it's really hard to like just have it in moderations. Not a lot of people can do that, and it's not really healthy to even try to do, in a sense. So when it comes to deleting those gateways of porn, the way that I've been trying to slowly combat my addiction of it is to stop looking at social media as much on my For You page. Half the time, if not over like 80-90% of the time, when I open Instagram, the first thing I see is like a naked lady or someone showing their butt or some type of sexual explicit image or video on my feed, and it gets kind of annoying, especially if I'm out in public and I'm just trying to like kill some time for a second and I just want to look at something like my friend's post or whatever, or go answer a DM. I see that and I'm like, dude, like, come on. It happens a lot more than you think it does subconsciously, and you don't realize it. So social media is a big one, and it's fine that people post this stuff. I don't really care what you post online. Women are more comfortable than ever to post their bodies online, and that's fine. It's fine. Do what you want, man. I don't really care. The thing is, I got to control how I consume that stuff, and that's on me. So I've been trying my best to not use Instagram as much in general, and also like stay off of my main feed and sections like that on social media. Another step, I do a lot of art. I draw a lot, and I've been getting back into it. And the problem with art sometimes is a lot of communities that you join, they do a lot of sexual explicit drawings, and it's pushed to the front of these communities a lot because it's very popular. People love to draw this type of stuff. I am not one of those people. I do draw women and I draw men. Perfectly normal. I mean, I don't really try to draw explicit stuff whenever I do art. So seeing that all the time at the front end of these communities makes it a lot harder to really focus on like the art part and like appreciate things that I love to draw. And it's kind of just a big distraction, and it's a really tough one for me to get through because I enjoy art so much, and I'm trying my best to not follow these accounts that draw this type of stuff. I'm trying to unfollow them, even though they are talented artists themselves and do a really good job. Granted, um, I just don't want to see it. I think that's definitely a big gateway into consuming porn later that day or even that hour because I'm looking at explicit content through that way. One last way that I sometimes find myself falling to that rabbit hole is actually through ASMR. I listen to quite a bit of ASMR. I'm gonna admit that quite frankly. I may talk about ASMR in a separate video overall, but there's this niche of ASMR that's very sexualized, and ASMR is not supposed to be like that. It's supposed to be relaxing. It's supposed to be something that you can fall asleep to if you have trouble sleeping, like insomnia, or maybe you just can't go to bed as quickly as you would like. That's not involved with insomnia, but there are a select group of what they call ASM artists that make content that is under the ASMR umbrella, but it's very sexualized. Whether it's like the thumbnail, what they wear in the video, what they do in the video, the context of the video, the title, all that. And I don't mind that being a thing. Like, that's fine. You can do that. But the fact that it's posted on YouTube and it's kind of like the forefront of that community as well makes it a problem. And so you got to actively not consume that type of stuff and make sure you're not doing stuff like that. So that's kind of my advice for today for the male porn addiction and for Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. I'll be doing one more of these next week. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.